welcome to a new episode of Night City Sofa. It's great to have you guys here. Thank you so much for everyone who's subscribed. We appreciate it. It helps us out greatly. I am Jess, or Jessiper, and with me today is the ever lovely Games End. Hello, Games.
I'm ever lovely, so...
Always lovely. And... let's see, I have a thing. We got really distracted right before the show, I apologize. So, where am I? Right, before we get into the show, just a reminder, if you have any questions or comments, please ask them in the chat. This is one of the few times we can actually directly respond with you guys, or respond to you, chat with you. There we go, 2 sentences I put together. So, please do ask so that we can respond and get back to you. Additionally, we'll likely be talking about events that have happened in Shades of Scarlet up to current episodes. So if you're not caught up, please consider this your general spoiler warning. Because we're very bad about...
Oh yeah, probably.
Giving
we usually
spoiler
do.
warnings.
Yeah. What's up, Val?
So... yes. Alright, so tonight we're talking about the Cyberpunk RED November DLC, which is the Screamsheet Generator, and we'll be talking about December's DLC, which dropped today, the 12 Days of REDmas.
It didn't turn out to be 12 Days of Petmas like we wanted.
I know. We didn't submit that soon enough, apparently. You can find all the Cyberpunk RED DLCs on our Talsorian's website at rtalsoriangames.com/downloadable-content. There we go. Or on DriveThruRPG, where you can pick them up individually or as a bundle for the whole year. So I'm sure the 2024 bundle will be out soon-ish.
They're usually pretty good about getting it out real quick.
Since this is, well, the 12 Days DLC, like today's DLC, should be out there now. But the bundle for all the DLCs that released this year, I assume will be out in the next couple of weeks or early in January. I'm trying to open this very carefully and it's failing and I'm gonna, it's all gonna go everywhere and I'm very scared. Okay, there we go. I got it. I figured it out. Okay. So we're gonna start off with the Screamsheet Generator, and you can see the cover up on the screen right now. Creating headlines for your campaign. And before we get into the DLC itself, I just wanted to let you guys know, if you're unfamiliar with Cyberpunk universe or whatever, what a Screamsheet is. So they are... Screamsheet is not the same thing. A Screamsheet is a custom-designed newspaper, either printed on flimsy paper or downloaded to an agent via the local data pool. If you go to page 326 in the core rulebook, it explains that Screamsheets were created so newspapers could stay competitive with television. Using digital technology, entire newspapers are reduced to digital code, which is transmitted to hundreds of newspaper boxes all over the area. The boxes reassemble the code and can print the paper on the spot. The result is a slick, flimsy newspaper known in street slang as a Screamsheet. Other advantages over newspapers that you can dial the news box to print only the sections of the paper you want. It only costs 0.1 EB per page printed. And new editions can be compiled in hours, allowing the public to keep rest of the story as it happens, although most are updated at 6 a.m., noon, 5 p.m., and 10 p.m., which again helps it stay competitive with TV stations. And if you don't want to print it and go to Newsbox, you can just download it to your agent, which is super handy. And Moxie probably does way more often than I have her do. The core rulebook also comes with a top-of-the-new Screamsheet headline generator, but this DLC actually breaks it down into creating an article. So, we're going to get into the DLC, unless you have something you would like to add.
Nope, I'm good up to this point.
Cool.
I feel like you were just doing informational stuff up till now. So.
I was, yeah. So, this one was written and designed... I'm gonna butcher this last name, and I apologize. Rachel Savicki? I feel like it's either Savicki or Savichki, and I'm not sure which, so... Rachel, I apologize.
Ceviche.
And Rachel seems very informal. And the DLC, it does, like they did mention when they released it, it's mostly GM focused. So after you roll in the specific tables, all you need to do is fill in the blanks, maybe tweak things here or there, and you've got an article that you can hand out to your players, which is really nice. As a GM who, when I could play in person with people, was really I loved giving things to my players, like physical handouts to my players. So this would be perfect for it. They also, in conjunction with the DLC itself, had a folder so you could download Screamsheet page templates. So you can just type everything in the thing with the right heading and then print it out.
Well, and this does a really good job of like making the world more immersive by having these to give to your players. And instead of putting the weight on you to like have to put so much work into like doing that to build the world. I mean, you still can if you want. That's not taken away from you. This just gives you such a more simple way to break it down and just do it quickly, to where like if your player's like, oh, I want to read the scream sheets, you can be like, oh yeah, all right, so
Yep.
It's as easy as checking the weather.
Not quite. Weather's a little easier.
You know what
I mean. Before we get into the generator itself, I do want to talk about the lore, of course, found in the DLC. And unlike most of the DLCs, I would say, it doesn't have a nice little intro at the start or at the end. It's kind of like scattered throughout the DLC.
Yeah.
On the side, but to start, I mean, there's a nice list of medias in Night City and their areas of expertise. Starting with Angie Wu 2.0, who focuses on Night City people and history. And you guys may recall Angie Wu, she's the interviewer from the Spinning Your Wheels DLC, where she spoke with Gabriel Yang in Yang Wheels. She was also the one who interviewed Toggle for Toggle's Temple, and was very confused when he started going off on his conspiracy rant. We also have GF Bits, who focuses on cyberware news information. Jackie McGee, who focuses on the corporate beat. J.E. Monroe for public interest news stories. Jericho Hunt, who's anything to earn enough money to eat. And I know we have seen Jericho Hunt before. I cannot, for the life of me,
for sure, I recognize it, but I can't be like, oh, from that, yeah.
Probably the core rulebook, probably Black, probably a bunch of things, I feel, but I can't pin it down.
Right. I like that they wrote the note that they're secretly subversive.
Yes. Jump Shot is a freelance combat zone, in quotes, journalist. Kelly Oddmeyer does music and entertainment. I'm going to skip the next one. Lindsay Tabors, education and Night City University. Miller Marcus is a technology reporter. And Ziggy Front Page is an all-around journalist. And then they have two, which I really like, which is Lana Smithy, which is a generic byline, which is the name of whoever wrote it, used by augmented optic writers. So if you just kind of need a generic name, because you want to put your own out for that specific news company, it's Lana Smithy. And then Thompson is a pseudonym used by journalists who just want to stay anonymous no matter what.
Which is neat. I like that they added those.
Right? Yeah. Of course, if you stay anonymous, then you don't get the credit for your story.
Breaking the story, yeah.
Yeah, so that can be... there's pros and cons. If Moxie had maybe used Thompson at the start of things against NewSat, maybe certain things would not have happened. Doubtful. But one
Who's
can hope.
Who's to say?
And I like that these names, they're not just like obviously now you have a list of medias throughout Night City and what area they focus on.
Yeah.
And that's really great for GMs if you're like, oh, I'm writing a news or an entertainment piece. Okay, what media would it be? Oh, this one, right? And I could just pluck a name. But as a player, if you don't have a media on your team and you're looking for someone to expose something, here is a list of medias and what they cover.
In.
So if Wraith didn't know Moxie and he needed a media for arts and entertainment,
I could call up Kelly Oddmeyer.
There you go.
Yep.
and get tickets to the show. And that way, so like even though it's a GM focused DLC, even as a player you can still use it.
For sure.
So, don't overlook them. They're really good and super handy. Otherwise, for lore, I guess the last thing is like two of the most popular scream sheets in Night City is Night City Today News and the augmented optic. So if you're, screening the data pool and you're like, oh, I want a story, I'm gonna look at these two. Obviously, we also know Network 54 is. That's a television station, is it not? Network 54.
Yeah, that's.
So if
television.
you're looking specifically for Screamsheet,
it would
check
be
out
augmented optics
or the optic, yeah.
Yeah.
To get your news.
I don't trust NCT.
I wouldn't either.
Too corporate.
All right. That's all I've got for lore. Is there anything you wanted to add?
No, I think that the things you mentioned do a pretty good job. Like I miss the fun story at the beginning, but I get why they didn't put it in here.
Yeah.
This is more like it goes over a lot of data in very few sheets because it kind of just focuses more on like, this is what we're doing, these are the steps you need to know, instead of putting in the fluff. But the fluff is fun.
Fluff is fun.
There's a few quotes in here that are fun, but it's not as heavy as they are in some of them. So
yeah,
that was all.
That's a good point. I did not mention the quotes, so thank you for bringing that out. So we're going to go through the process that is beautifully outlined in the DLC of how to create your Screamsheet article. There are tables for you to roll on. However, pick if there's something specific that you're looking for. And, the DLC starts with, like, you don't necessarily have a degree in journalism. So this is to make your life easier, to make something that should flow together. But they are modular, pieces won't fit, and if you're looking for a specific type of story, then don't roll. Pick the thing that's going to work for you.
Right.
So we're going to go through...
Because I'll say,
go ahead.
Some of my favorite ones are very utilitarian. Like, they only work with certain things, We'll talk about it more when we get into it, but there's one of them, the number 6 on the news flash one, is like very aggressive, and depending on what news they're paying attention to, that would not work. So like the picking and choosing makes sense, but I like the random generation aspect of it.
Oh, for sure. Yeah.
Sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt.
No, I was like, what? I was saying something before. What was it? The last thing I wanted to say is I like in the DLC that it actually shows you how, like, you roll on the tables, and when things don't fit, how they changed it up. So
yeah, and that's something that they didn't put a lot of lore in, but they put a lot of good working examples.
Yes.
And that's kind of the trade-off.
Which I appreciate.
So,
So step 1, it's like 5 simple steps to write an article. Step 1, pick what type of article you want, or roll randomly if you want, but there's a news flash, which is generally your more violent, bigger stories, an entertainment piece, or a help wanted ads, which could be really fun. Once you've decided or ruled which type of article you want to write, you roll in the appropriate tables for that article type, so it's all broken down by those 3. Then you roll your content paragraphs, so you'll get your introduction, your body, your conclusion. And then that's where you'll get a lot of the fill-in-the-blanks, most of the fill-in-the-blanks, that you can put in for whatever works for your campaign and your world and your story.
Yep.
Step 3 is you pick a headline, and because the headline normally has to do with what happened at the end of the story, in your conclusion paragraph that you roll, it tells you which headlines would best fit this conclusion. So it's like, pick one of these, or just pick this one. This one is the only one. It's probably the best fit, which I really like. Step 4, you fill in the details. Step 5, go over, make sure everything makes sense, and polish it where needed. I already talked about that. So it's I don't know, it's very straightforward. You roll on the tables, you write an article, alter things as needed. But what I love about them, and you mentioned this earlier, games, is that it helps make the world feel more alive.
Yeah,
about
for sure.
What's going on at large, even if it's nothing that your players are connected to. But especially if your players
it's not plot hooks, but
are connected to. Yeah, it could be plot hooks, possible plot hooks, which is great. But I really like the idea of adding them for, like, as like a crew's reputation increases. Having more and more stories come out about what the crew has been
mentioning
doing.
them.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because you don't always fly
like
under the radar.
Well, I was thinking like Fallout 3, as you progress through the story, more of Three Dogs stories are about stuff that the Lone Wanderer did. And I enjoyed that about that video game. So it would be cool to, like, as your characters get more famous, like, they get mentioned more, you know?
Yeah. So, and again, spoiler alert, if you're not caught up with Shades of Scarlet, it would be really neat in the next, like, day or two to have a Screamsheet article about Neon's win at the Slammer.
Right.
Or the pop-up concert by, and the pop-up concert put on by Kabuki Reborn at the Slammer.
Yeah.
Which went surprisingly very tame, but it would still be cool to see that in the world at large on a Screamsheet of, like, no, like, Wraith has gotten big enough, and he is big enough where, like, as a rocker boy, your rep is high.
Yeah.
Like, not as a crew reputation, but Kabuki Reborn is high, where news articles should be mentioning you.
Right.
As opposed to at the start where probably not
well,
so
and something else fun you can do with it is mention NPCs that the characters have met along the way. Like, if we saw Dave Wacko was arrested for drunken disorderly conduct in the Screamsheet, that would be fucking awesome.
That would be hilarious. Starts a riot. Dave Wacko starts a riot in the streets. Yes.
Right?
Yes.
Like, yeah, just like throwbacks to, like, characters they've met in the past doing stuff. You know, I think it adds fun depth to the world.
Especially if you have players who forget that they have NPC connections and that NPC suddenly shows up in the Screamsheet and you're like, oh. Kind of like when we forgot about Jenny for a little bit.
We didn't forget about Jenny. She was doing other stuff.
But yeah, I think also just being able to showcase, like, a crew's reputation by having them in the media more and more often. We saw that, we kind of did that a little bit with Wraith. Remember when some tabloid took a picture when Wraith and Moxie were talking?
Yeah.
That
was cool, yeah.
Nothing ever came out of that. I don't think it ever got published.
Yeah, or we just didn't read the news the day it came out.
No, I think I looked into that and I didn't find anything. It was something very, very small. And it's never come up since. Like, there's never been another, like, news scandal.
Right.
But I think it would be really neat to see more of that.
For sure. So, Blank, when you watch this, more scandals.
Also, I think this is really great for GMs if you happen to have a media in the crew, because they get to roll randomly for, like, rumors and stuff, but because they are so connected to news outlets, being like, oh, hey, you come across these Screamsheets, there may be something of interest in them.
Right.
So if you're looking for plot hooks or stuff like that. Also, if you are a media and you don't know how to write articles, this is really handy as, like, a guideline to how to write articles.
It's a good template.
Mm-hmm.
It's what it's designed to do.
Exactly. So what we're gonna do now is, if I could figure out how I did this. Ta-da!
Very carefully.
We're gonna generate some articles for you guys so you can see it in action.
Okay.
So, Rhythm just actually going to ask you what type of article you would like to write.
I'm not gonna roll?
No. What type of article do you want to write?
I would like to write in neon lights.
So entertainment
news article.
Alright.
Yeah.
Alright, now, so we're gonna roll, like, or I'm gonna scroll down to the DLC, to the neon lights section. which starts on page 8. Now I'm going to have you roll. So
I got a 6.
okay, nice. Do you want to read it out?
Yeah. Fans got an early look at names. Newest project yesterday when Mediatype of their latest work hit the data pool.
All right, and for the body of the scream sheet?
The body of it is a 2. Well, fans laud the new Mediatype as adjective, and even more adjective. Critics had harsher words. Critics' name, notoriously straightforward column, took a threatening turn if the venue cancels the event type. Maybe someone will do us a favor and blow up the freaking place before Name 1 can inflict us with any more of this crap upon us. Critics' name wrote.
You're gonna hate where I'm gonna go with this. And for the ending?
Ah, yes. The ending of the article is 5. Fans had just one question. What will name number 2 do next?
Okay. And so for the, I guess, the headline, we can do that as well. So you could choose 3, 4, or 5. Which one would you like? Scandal.
Okay, so 3 is scandal at location. 4 is plot thickens, rumors about incident continue to grow. Or 5, which is Name 1 tells all. I don't think 5 works very well for this.
No.
I think I like scandal at location the best.
Okay. Beautiful. Okay, so what I want to do is I want to, say we're going to tailor this to Shades of Scarlet.
Right.
So that's what we're going to do to fill in the blanks. So we're going to start with fans got an early look at so-and-so's new project yesterday. Who I wanted to default to Wraith so hard, but Wacko could be fun.
Ooh, Wacko could be fun. I was thinking the other band that we hang out with, but I couldn't remember their name.
Savage or Dead?
Yeah, Savage or Dead.
Or did you...
Oh, what's their name that I hated?
That you
that
hated?
We played that show with? Yeah.
Is that the one where
we played...
Plate Nick?
Yeah.
Where Nick was
Nick.
just super rude and awkward to checkers?
Uh-huh.
Alright.
Fucking Nick.
We're gonna say Play It Nick? Okay.
Alright.
Play It Nick. So fans got an early look at Play It Nick's newest project. Oh, actually, you know what? Let's just make sure that we put this in all the Name 1 spots. I feel like in the conclusion, though, because we've never had a Name 2, it should be Name 1 again.
Okay, that makes sense.
You know what I mean? Like, it doesn't make sense if it's suddenly,
Unless we say Nick, like, the main main singer's name, but I don't remember his name. So,
his name is
let's
Nick.
go with Play It Nick for all of them.
Play It Nick's lead singer was Nick. So, when, Mediatype, when they're what?
Album?
Is it album or song?
Let's go song.
Okay. Or I guess it was Mediatype. An audio recording?
Yeah, MP3, which is not what they're still using, I'm sure. But...
No. Say audio recording. Their latest work hit the data pool. Cool. Or audio track, I guess? I don't know. Because this should be the same, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, so say audio track. That's it? Okay, that's it for that. So, how would you give us a couple adjectives there, Games?
Okay, fans laud the new audio track as innovative.
Okay. And?
High energy.
And even?
Addictive.
Nice. Critics have had harsher words. What's a critic's name? We don't actually know a critic.
I don't. Yeah. Well, and see if this was a film, I could, go with a real film critic and just modify their name like Siskel and Ebert, but like Cyber Siskel. But I don't know any audio critics. Chat, do you guys know any audio critics?
A music critic, yeah.
Yeah. Or we could just because right now it would be like Bandcamp. It would be like some website.
No, it would be a critic's name.
Phil Rawlings.
I was gonna say West. Let's go Phil West.
Okay.
Phil West's, we just created an NPC, go team. So I'm gonna put the critic name down here as well. So, I need a venue.
Where would
this
Nick
be too
playing?
soon to say the hovel and say this article released before the events took place in the Nook?
Yes. The hovel.
Is that what we're doing? Okay.
I'm
gonna capitalize the. The hovel cancel the concert, right? Is what it would be?
If the hovel... Yeah.
It should say doesn't, isn't it?
It should say doesn't, I think.
Yeah. Okay, if the hovel doesn't cancel the concert, maybe someone do us a favor and blow up the freaking place before Platonic can inflict any more of this crap on us. So Scandal
Ooh, too
in...
soon.
Too
soon.
No, it's too soon. I know. Where's the...
The Scandal in Kabuki.
That makes sense, okay.
Or the Nook.
Let's say Scandal in Kabuki.
Okay.
Alright, so now that we've filled in all the blanks, Games, do you want to give it one last read with,
Okay.
what we've got?
Scandal in Kabuki. Fans got an early look at Platnic's newest project yesterday when an audio track of their latest work hit the data pool. While fans lauded the new audio tracks as innovative, high energy, and even addictive, critics had a much harsher words. Phil West's notoriously straightforward column even took a threatening turn. If the hovel doesn't cancel this concert, maybe someone will do us a favor and blow up the frickin' place before Play It Nick can inflict more of their crap on us. Phil West wrote, fans have just one question. Just what will Play It Nick do next?
You know what I like about
that is hard
this?
to say. Nick do next.
Nick do next.
Yeah,
yeah that is. Is that it could link Phil West to what happened.
Right.
Perfectly
yeah.
innocent bystander. It's like, oh wait. Alright. Which one should we do next? I would like to do at least one more.
Which one are you doing? Because I wrote that one.
We did it together?
You...
Look, I've got a lot going on. Let's do a news flash. I do like the news flashes.
Okay.
So, violence and...
I kind of want to do a help wanted.
You know what? We'll do one of each. How's that?
Okay.
So we will eventually have our headline, but that's part 3. So, I guess I have to roll dice, so I don't have things ready. So for our intro of the article, every district has rougher sections, but it seems that location neighborhood has seen more than its share of trouble lately. Last week we brought you news of the battle between Group 1 and Group 2, but it seems that was only the start of the trouble.
Bum, bum, bum.
So what happened? So then I rolled a 4 and now a 5. This has so many more blanks. Inside sources suggest that Group 1 has quietly been hiring job types since earlier this year, and that they're none too picky about who they hire. While the details remain unknown, we can confirm Group 1 has amassed a collection of item type around one of their location type in location neighborhood.
Okay.
And then, for the conclusion... Ooh.
These are massive, by the way.
I know, right? Update. A news report brings news of Name 1's untimely demise. Exact circumstances, I think that should be one word, there we go, of their death have not been disclosed. However, Group 1 has asked anyone who wants to do right by Name 1 to join them tonight at location. Will this be a somber remembrance or a vengeful mob? Check back tomorrow for the latest. And, dang, the headline is...
Name 1 found dead.
Yeah. So I had a thought, and then I got to the ending, and now I don't know what thought. Let's say, okay, so we did one from the past. Let's do maybe a future article that could be written.
Okay.
Can I say Blue found dead, or
Alright, yeah.
Right? Every district has rougher sectors, but it seems that Kabuki, right? Kabuki Watson? Or the Nook Kabuki, would it be?
Well, location and the neighborhood, so it would be Kabuki the Nook, but that doesn't make sense.
Yeah, so at the Nook, and you know what, I'm going to say in Kabuki Watson. I've seen more than a share of trouble lately. Last week we brought you news of the battle between, I'm going to say Tiger Claw?
As Group 1. And
Yep.
Group 2, Maelstrom?
No, it obviously Gojira. We're writing this in for future, right? It seems that was only the start of the trouble. Inside sources suggest that Tiger Claw, who are not really Tiger Claw, but Tiger Claw, has quietly been hiring, mercenaries, right?
I was thinking solos, but
Solo, sure.
mercenaries works.
Solo since earlier this year, and that they're not too picky about who they hire. Well, the details remain unknown.
Ooh, what about gangers? Gangers.
No, I think
solos.
Solos. No, I think solos makes more sense.
Okay.
If not like mercenaries, because they don't care who they hire.
It's true.
Could be like really horrible. Yeah. Tiger Claw has amassed a collection of what? I want to say like chips, but they wouldn't know that. Explosives?
Ooh, explosives could be fun, yeah.
Explosives?
Yeah, let's do explosives.
Around one of their...
Yeah.
What is the arcade now?
Abandoned warehouses.
I mean, I could say warehouses.
Right now it's
No,
an abandoned building.
No, because they're fixing it up and they're refurbishing it as, like, what was it, an underground casino? Isn't that what they were doing?
That's what it used to be.
No, it was an arcade.
I thought they were just making it a headquarters.
No, it was an arcade, but I thought they were turning into a casino and headquarters. Or a bar and headquarters.
You have more information than I do.
No, I just remember more because I take notes.
I have notes. I do.
In 2 sentences. Sir, who's Mike in your contact list again? You know what? Let's say around one of their headquarters. Why not? Location neighborhood is the Nook. You know what? I'm just gonna say the Nook Kabuki.
Yep.
For this one. Update new report brings the news of Blue's untimely demise. Exact circumstances of the death have not been closed. However, Tiger Claws have asked Anyone who wants to do right by Blue to join them tonight at where?
The old arcade? I don't know. Where would they want them to meet?
That's a really great question. So now that we've gotten this far, I'm like, and I don't...
Oh, wasn't there a park up the street?
Sure, there is now. What's the name of the
Where
park?
we had the standoff? With Cass and Cammy.
Oh!
About whether or not...
That wasn't at the park, but there was a park, yes.
We'll call it Meadow Park.
Sure. There we go. Okay, so Blue found dead. That sounds so weird. What's Blue's actual name? We know this.
It's Ai. It's the Japanese word for blue, which is two U.S. vowels put together is the sound.
I'm so sorry, guys. I'm gonna quickly look up at my... Oh, you know we could have absolutely... No, this sounds good.
It's... Oh.
Yeah, but he also had a last name.
Yeah, which I don't remember.
How do I not have...
I remember it ends with she.
Huh. I was gonna say we could do Ishiki Takahashi, but I think that was Mia's brother.
Who's already dead.
Who's already dead. Seriously, do I not have this in here? I don't think I have Blue in my list of names, which is absolutely ridiculous. I have Mia's
Just
name.
right.
I have Mia Kato.
Murasaki. Just make that his last name for now.
Alright, can you spell first name for me?
It's A-O.
Mm-hmm.
Is the entire first name.
That's it? Okay.
Yeah.
Murasaki, that's not what it is now. Oops.
Murasaki is the word for purple. So his name's Blue Purple.
Blue Purple. Cool. Alright. So Ao Murasaki found dead. Every district has rougher sections, but seems that the Nook in Kabuki Watson has seen more than its share of trouble lately. Last week we brought you news of the battle between Tiger Claw and Gojira, but it seems that this was only the start of the trouble. Inside sources suggest that Tiger Claw has quietly been hiring solos since earlier this year, and that they're none too picky about who they hire. While the details remain unknown, we can confirm Tiger Claw has amassed a collection of explosives around one of their headquarters in the Nook. I feel like that should be...
Just the Nook.
This should be have, and this is, yeah, this should just be the Nook. There we go. Update. A new report. I keep wanting to say news, and that's not what it is. A new report brings news. Ooh. Of, you know what? I'm gonna say Mr. Oh no, this would say of Ao Murasaki's untimely demise. Exact circumstances of their death have not been disclosed. However, Tiger Claws have asked anyone who wants to do right. I'm gonna say by Mr. Murasaki here. To join them tonight at Meadow Park. Will this be a somber remembrance or a vengeful mom? Check back tomorrow for the latest.
Ooh, who wrote this one?
Great
Is this our friend that wrote this one?
Our friend?
Yeah.
No.
And it's about gang violence?
I mean... It could be. It could be. Okay, so...
Let's see. Would that be Jackie McGee's beat, you think?
I would think,
Based
wouldn't it
on
be Angie Wu?
I could see that, yeah.
You know what? It's Thompson.
Thompson wrote it.
Thompson wrote it, yeah. They want to remain anonymous. They don't want to incur wrath from either side.
Right.
Alright, so the last one is Help Wanted.
And see how, like, each of these have been, like, super quick, and we're able to generate several stories super fast.
Yeah.
Alright, Help Wanted 3, which is, are you known for your nerve? Does your stare alone make, Dumas rethink that being born? Can you stop the weak in their tracks, just by flexing your muscles?
This is amazing so far.
5. Requirements: good fashion sense, good manners, and a working knowledge of area of expertise.
Okay.
And 1. Think that's you? Come prove it. Fair warning: if you screw up, you're on your own. We only back winners.
I feel like the body isn't right.
Yeah, it doesn't match
It doesn't
everything
fit.
else.
So do you want to roll again, or do you want to pick one?
I love the number 6 on, like, all of these.
I really like number 4 for this.
Yeah, I think that let's go with number 4. Only the best need apply. We reserve the right to shoot Dumasses who waste our time on sight, which will work well with the ending of it. So we only back winners.
We only back winners. So not headline 3. Which one?
Yeah, I rolled and got Help Wanted for upcoming gig. I don't know.
I could see that though.
I like 3 though so much. Seeking someone, fucking discretion. Number 4. Let's go with number 4.
Number 4.
Yeah.
Okay. So, you needing some quick cash. Us looking to grow the business. Are you known for your nerve? Does your stare alone make Doombas rethink being born? Can you stop the weakened tracks just by flexing your muscles? Only the best need apply. We reserve the right to shoot Doombas who waste our time on sight. Think that's you? Come prove it. Fair warning, if you screw up, you're on your own. We only back winners.
I like it.
You didn't even have to fill in the blank for that one, which is amazing. I would be terrified
to go to those tryouts.
I mean, honestly, Moxie probably could. She's got a pretty good death stare.
Wraith would show up, but he would not succeed.
He would get shot. Not killed. He would get shot.
Yeah. Non-fatally wounded. Yeah. Within minutes of showing up.
Yeah.
But
who wastes that was time. Quick and painless. Hey guys, I'm Ray. Have you heard I've got a new album coming out? Yeah. I know that's what we're here for. I'll get to that in just a minute.
We wrote 3 articles in what? A little over 10 minutes?
Sure.
Yeah. I feel like, and it's a solid news day.
Yeah. And apart from the Help Wanted, which I think is hilarious, they relate to the campaign.
Right, but I think something really nice about the Help Wanted is that it isn't time sensitive. So you could write this beforehand, and if you needed filler somewhere, just pop it in there and you have something ready to go.
Yep. And they're especially great, I think, for plot hooks.
Yeah.
You know, add a contact name or location and...
Yep. And then if they feel like going that direction, God help them.
Yes, good luck to them. So yeah, that's the Screamsheet Generator. Pretty straightforward, super handy. I love it.
Yep. The blank scream sheets work really well with it. The templates. Like, I think that it's all nice looking and clean.
And I like that they tell you what font they use and like the point, like the size of
which is awesome.
Yes. So look all authentic and stuff.
Yeah, so when this first came out, I was giving it a lot of a hard time because as a player, it's not something that's very useful to me. Blah 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 blah. But like, I have a lot of respect for this. You know, I think it does a lot to round out a world.
I think especially if you're a media, you could use this.
Huge.
It's like even if you're doing hustles or something, and use this to write a quick news article on a thing.
Yeah, just research somebody who died and like fill their name in for the thing.
Yeah, like I guess double check with your GM that it's legit. But if you're picking random people in areas that you know you're not really in, and it's just a NPC you came up with, sure, why not?
Right.
But I mean, hey, this could have been like Moxie could have write El Murasaki found dead. You know, this is her pre-written article for.
You pre-wrote it.
Yeah, it's gonna happen.
And you're like, hey, can you publish this tomorrow?
Yeah. Actually, if you could publish it at 8:45, you'll be breaking
That'd
news.
That'd be great. It accidentally publishes like too early, and he gets a copy of it. Oh no.
Nah.
That would be intimidating.
Yeah, I think so. I feel like I feel like Blue would be like, oh, silly little, you know, media. And then the door breaks down, though. That would be fun.
Yeah, for sure.
So yeah, that's the Screamsheet Generator. That's November's DLC.
Yep.
Absolutely
Quick
fantastic for GMs. Great if you're a media.
Yeah. Check it out. If you're not, even if you're not a GM, we're checking out because there's good stuff in there. Like we said, the names of the different medias that you can contact. There's fun quotes in there, and you know, it's just good to stay current on the DLCs.
Yeah. And if you, as a player, you know, like doing extra things for your game, I tend to do that. Write extra little bits. Your GM's got a lot on their plate. If you wrote like a scream sheet about your crew's latest mission and just handed it to them and like, hey, you don't have to use this, but if you want to, I put together an article, they might.
Right. Yeah. For sure.
Alright, are we ready to move on to the 12 Days of REDmas?
Sure.
Do you want a break? Are you good?
Can we take a quick 5?
Yeah.
And then move on?
Yeah. Sorry guys, we don't normally
Just so I can get everything reset and ready.
2 in 1, so thank you for bearing with us. And
yeah, there's just been a lot coming out lately, so we've been real busy.
Yeah. Yeah. I would blame Artal, but they're wonderful and I love the content, so I won't. But
stop giving us free content.
Space it out better. No. No, it's great. It's wonderful. Please keep doing what you're doing.
Yes.
And
appreciate it.
We will see you back in 5. Hello, everyone. Welcome back to Night City Sofa as we continue part 2 of our Cyberpunk RED DLC review. This time talking about the DLC, Cyberpunk RED DLC that hit today, 12 Days of REDmas. For those of you who may just be joining us now, just a friendly reminder, you can get all the DLCs at our Talsorian's website at talsoriangames.com/downloadable-content. There is a link in the video description below. If you're watching live, it's currently in chat. And Or you can get it on Drive-Thru RPG. I'm sure the issue is up now. If not, it should be within, I'm sure, 24 hours. Also, all the DLCs for the year should be out soon, so you can get them all in a fancy Nancy bundle and download them in one go, if you would like.
Yep.
All right. Also, spoiler warning for Shades of Scarlet, because we talk about it a lot.
Yeah, it comes up.
I think that's it. So I'm going to switch over the image to the 12 Days of REDmas, a Cyberpunk RED holiday tradition. Written and designed by James Hutt and Jay Gray. It's that time of year. And once more, we're gifted with new items to add to our campaigns. This 12 Days DLC does differ from those in the past in a few ways. First, it's not specific to one category. Previously, we've had Gunmas, or Cybermas, or Gearmas. This one is not. It's things from all over Cyberpunk RED.
Right.
And we get weapons, we get some gear, we get armor, we get cyberware. And these pieces, unlike in the past, are not from Cyberpunk 2020, but they're taken from artwork that we have seen throughout the RED line.
Which is awesome.
Which is really, really cool. Lastly, and much to my heart's disappointment, and this is not a slight or a bash on the company at all, but I love the songs that come out with these DLCs, and there isn't a song with this one, and I always sing along, and this one has a story instead, and it's a really great story. I was very disheartened that there was no song this year. So that's the main differences.
Thanks, Jay. Jericho Hunt first appeared in the JSK Screamsheet. He explained the economy in Black Chrome.
Jumpstart kit. Nice. Okay. I knew I had seen Jericho in a few things, and I know I'd seen quotes, and I could not, for the life of me, place him. Thank you.
Also, before we get much deeper, I love this image.
It's really cool.
Santa on the bulb. Like, yeah, he just looks so intense.
Yeah, the story actually makes him very scary, too.
Oh, like, yeah.
You do not mess around with Santa. Also, I believe the art, because the art credit is at the top, it's by Richard Bagnall and Jay Gray.
Oh, nice.
Yeah. So I'm guessing Jay had a hand in the artwork as well as in the writing and the design and the layout. I suppose the first quote by Wheelie in the lore section at the start could be to "I saw Mommy kissing Santa Claus," because I saw Krampus flatlined by Santa's pile while riding through the combat zone last night. It's not the same as the song. I'll take it.
I got that from that quote, and then I also got the "'Twas the Night Before Christmas" kind of from the lore story, but it's not obviously in the same rhyme scheme. It's just the story kind of reminded me of, especially the ending, the just before midnight on 12/24, that part. Yes. Like, kind of reminded me of the night before Christmas.
So the little bit of lore that you get is Santa, who is a netrunner, with a rifle, who takes out a Borged Krampus in an alleyway, pretty much single shot. Absolutely terrifying. I like the addition of, as he's like inhaling and prepping to shoot, it's on a ho. I think that final one is the shot. Like, it's very kind of a dark image. He's got the Diego Motors range trike with a tech upgraded combat plow, which you can find that bike in Black Chrome. So that does exist. You can ride the same kind of sleigh as Santa if you want.
Well, and like part of the thing that gave me the Night Before Christmas vibes is like each bullet ran a jolly 50 EB. Like that, like just like the text, the way it's written, you know.
Oh, for sure. I like even the when he checks his list, he checks it twice, marking off that the board. Like, there's a lot of nods that I absolutely adore with the story. And then, of course, so after it takes out the Borg, it does talk about how Short Circuit heard a voice call out Merry Christmas. To all, no matter the creed, information and people deserve to be free. And then the schematics were released in the at Short Circuit. I believe, because we get a couple instances of there being speakers taped to walls in this story. And I'm guessing that's the mini mag speaker.
Yeah, I could see that.
Was that Black Chrome?
I'm trying to remember what it's from. I think it's Chrome 2.
Chrome Plus?
Yeah.
No.
Okay, I will look while you're talking about things.
I should look at the night market index. I remember being super excited for the mini mag speakers because I thought they were fantastic. I remember Moxie was going to buy some for Wraith.
There's so many random things over the years that I've been like, oh, I need this.
I need to start keeping a list so that when we have money, which we never will, we can buy the cool toys. So yes, that's the lore's really neat. We also kind of get we get a new NPC, Never Naughty Ned, who is a tech who makes these rounds for Santa. So if you're looking to create a holiday themed maybe plot or mission, maybe someone has taken Never Naughty Ned or captured them to try to find information on Santa, because corporations don't like things being free. So there you go.
It's true.
Mm-hmm. I feel like we also kind of got some, because I don't think BMG rounds are something that's in the book, and the ACOG scope is not something that we've seen before.
I don't think so.
Those could be teasers of upcoming goodies, potentially. I'm trying to like vamp for.
Sorry, I was trying to look for the speaker.
The speaker, yeah.
And I can't find it.
Before going on to the, you know what? Let me see if I can.
It is not in. I'm comfortable
speakers.
saying it's not in Black Chrome.
It's Gearmas. It is. It's the 12 Days of Gearmas.
Yeah.
Okay.
Which I might add, the 12 Days of Cyberpunk. That picture of Santa is very reminiscent of this one.
Fair. Okay, so we're gonna go through the gear, I believe, in order.
Yep.
So first we have, and by the way, this is really cool because in all the other ones that come from 2020, they've always had like blueprint schematics, and I like that they kind of kept that for this one, even though it came from images in red.
Yeah.
So this is the Centurion Essentials Thermal Dagger, which you may recognize the image from the core rulebook back on page 177, but it's also the cover of the Red Chrome Cargo Screamsheet.
Yep.
It's 1,000 eddies, plus 10 eddies if you want your name engraved onto it, so you can burn it into your victim.
Which, obviously.
I always think of like the bat symbol from the movie where it's like engraved, like burned onto their skin.
Okay.
That's what I picture, just, you know, with your name instead. It's an excellent quality medium melee weapon that can be concealed, which is Chef's Kiss. Anyone or anything hit by the thermal dagger is now strongly on fire, which is more than your Incendiary Runners, which is normally mild for 2 points of damage. Now it's 4 points of damage per turn. And I like that it says anyone or anything, because Moxie, who does on occasion use melee weapons, she always has 2 concealed knives on her at any given point. Even if I don't damage them, if it doesn't go through to them, I still hit their armor, which means I believe their armor is taking 4 points of burn damage, and it should reduce the SP by 4 each turn, unless
it does
they put
say
it
anything.
out. It does say anything.
Yeah.
So even if it doesn't get through to them, I feel like their armor would be on fire. If not, it's stronger for them to be on fire and does 2d6 instead of 1d6, which is really, really nice. The only thing that hurts for me is that price point, because I understand why it's at that price point. I just don't ever have an extra 1,000 to spend anywhere.
I know that feeling. And I think it would go well with my mono katana, but
Ooh, mono katana and thermal dagger? Yeah.
Yeah.
I can see it.
I don't ever want to be in close enough combat range, though, to be using a dagger. That is not going to end well for me.
I am always in close enough combat range.
Next up, we have the Cyberdude Smart Glove, which are fingerless gloves that come with the subdermal grip attachment, and they have 2 additional option slots for cyber arm, cyber limb options. And they cannot be concealed, if I remember right.
Correct.
Yeah, the gloves cannot be concealed. And I think that it's really cool that like non-finger-based cyberware options stored in the gloves or in the meat of the gloves are inaccessible. Blah 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 blah. But finger-based ones are accessible. So if you have like a finger tool or something like that, you still have access to it. So I think that's nice. Though Jess and I were having an argument on whether or not this is compatible with something else, and what I just said out loud there kind of says that it is not compatible. So we'll discuss that more later. But they are only 750 EB, and I think for the options, it's kind of cool. It's kind of worth it, you know?
Yeah.
Good gear.
Before we move on from it, I want to point out fingerless glove, where you can still use your fingers, it's very similar to the Pursuit Security Bouncer, which is the fingerless glove with the EMP, the microwaver in the palm that I have, and the stun baton. So I can still use my cyber fingers, my Dalinar cyber fingers with my one-shot special and my microphone, which I constantly forget exists in my thumb. Moxie's thumb. So that's not something that's new. I like that we have that again, that's there. But I really like in this DLC, they've done it with a few pieces where you have options for cyberware without affecting your humanity.
Yeah.
And I love that.
I need that so bad.
Right. Yeah. Yeah. Someone who started real low. It's super handy. It's also made by Wizard Technologies, which I think we've seen before with the Cyberdecks in
I'm positive we have. I closed the thing with all the DLC in it, so it would be hard for me to research right now, but I believe you're right.
Upload. They make 1 or 2 of the Cyberdecks. I could be wrong.
Yeah.
Also, the image is from 12 Days of REDmas. By the way.
I apologize that I've been coughing so much.
You're good. Alright. Next, we have the High Density Bulletproof Shield, which you can find this image in the core rulebook on page 85. It costs 200 EB, which is double the cost of a regular bulletproof shield, but you get 5 extra hit points of protection. Which, given, you're probably going to face either somewhere between 3d6 and 5d6, those extra 5 hit points are going to go a long way.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, because you and I were kind of talking about it, and, why not just get 2 of the 10 hit point shields? But, no, if something's going to do, 12 damage, I'd rather have the 15 hit point shield than 2 10-point shields.
Yeah. I think... and it's funny because we've only ever used bulletproof shields once in the campaign, and I think I was the only one who used it.
Yeah, I think we've all carried them at one time or another, but we never used them. I had one for a long time and never used it.
Wasn't there one that sat in the car, the trunk of the car for years?
It was in the back window.
Yes, yes, I remember that. Yes. Yeah. It cannot, by the way, I believe this one, and I didn't write it in my fancy notes, so I'm just going to quickly double check, but I believe it cannot pop up with Cyberpunk, correct? Yeah.
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 Which is sad, but I get it. It's more reinforced and everything, so you can't really make it collapsible.
And I do love the imagery of this picture where it's just kind of bouncing off.
Yeah.
So yeah.
Next up, we have the light Metal Gear, 1000 EB, very expensive. Basically, it is badass armor. There's a cost to it for sure, because it gives you an SP of 16, but it gives you an armor penalty of a -3 to reflex, dex, and move, but it kind of makes you into like a private tank, like a BB mech, but at the cost of, your dexterity, reflex, and move. So you don't move around a lot, but you can definitely take some shots.
Well, and I like that it's like, so your Metal Gear, your standard Metal Gear, which is in the core rulebook. By the way, this image is found on the core rulebook on page 322. It's an SP of 18, but the armor penalty is -4.
Yeah.
And if you tech upgrade your light Metal Gear, you can get that SP to 17 and still only be like at a -3.
Right.
Which can
horrible. Make a huge difference.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I mean, if you're going to be the guy holding the door, like making sure everybody gets out, this would be a great thing to have.
Yeah, like if you're not going to move, if you're just like suppress a fire or
hold the line.
Yeah, if you've got something that's got the distance, this is solid.
For sure.
That's not the character I play. I need to be able to be mobile.
Yeah.
Okay, next, did I do this in the wrong order? I did these in the wrong order, or I missed an image. I apologize.
You know who could probably benefit from the light Metal Gear?
Checkers?
I was thinking Checkers or Deeps, somebody who's doing things that necessarily don't require a lot of movement to what they're doing. But I could see Checkers taking that movement and reflex penalty as being a big problem. Deeps would be less so, like if he's jacked in. Leave his meat in a light Metal Gear while he's like in an architecture.
Well, and because his move is a 7.
Right.
A -3 penalty, it puts him at Checkers'
level. He would
level.
Still have this. Yeah, he would still have the movement of Checkers.
Yeah, he'd still be fine. And he wouldn't really need like the reflex or the dex too bad, because he has a reflex score processor. He can still dodge bullets because that's not dependent on your actual reflex score. So yeah, it'd be good.
Not that he would need to very badly. In light Metal Gear, he wouldn't have to dodge bullets as often.
Yeah, that's the thing. Is like he can still dodge it, and if it misses, chances are it's probably not going to get through his armor. So, Deeps becomes our tank. All right, there we go. Do you want to talk about Nat's long-barreled pistol?
Sure, I can if you'd like.
I will. I really want to talk about the Pursuit Security attack rapid responder. I'm sorry.
Okay.
I will say though that I'm sure this image is from somewhere else. I could not, for the life of me, find it. I know it exists in Black Chrome Plus, on page 9 as a description for Nomad Leathers. I'm sure it's from somewhere else. Could not.
I am too, and for the life of me, I don't know where it's from.
I looked like everywhere, and that's the only place I could find it.
Oh my goodness. So I like that. So okay, Nat's long barrel pistol is 500 EB. I like that this says like it leans into the lore, and it said that Santa didn't liberate it. Instead, this is obtained as a gift from a nomad who did him a favor.
Yes.
Like I like that. Like even its description like leans back into the lore. But yeah, it just says it's a long barrel take on a classic handgun. Excellent quality, very heavy pistol that fires using a new range table category from the rusted chrome. And so it's got its own range categories rather than just being the heavy pistol ones. And really the sweet spot for it is about 13 to 25 yards. Because once you get much more than that 25 yards,
it's like 7 to 25.
Steep. Yeah, it goes...
Actually, it's from 0 to 25 is ideal, like really.
Yeah, 7 to 12 is the lowest, which is 13. The 0 to 6 is 14, 7 to 12 is 13, and then 13 to 25 is 14. None of those are that high, but then as soon as you hit 26, it goes up to 20, and just gets more ridiculous from there. Like,
yes, but if you compare it to a regular handgun table,
yeah,
it starts at 13, then goes to 15,
Right.
Then incrementally, like, up from there. So even the 20 is significantly lower
right.
than where it is normally. Like, I
Yeah.
stay, as Moxie, because she uses pistols, which is handgun range, I stay at 0 to 6 because 13 is the lowest range. So that's why I'm always within close combat. But with this, I could literally be 25 meters away and be fine.
Right. Well, and
which
this,
is
like,
glorious.
the fact that 7 to 12 is a little bit lower than 0 to 6 or 13 to 25 are, like, you actually, like, it is better to be at range with this gun.
Yeah.
Which is cool.
It's fantastic. Also, just a quick note, it's excellent quality too, so you get the +1 with your attacks. But it says the range table was borrowed from notes on Rusted Chrome. I believe Rusted Chrome is the Nomad sourcebook that's in current development that's coming out.
Right. Yeah,
I
think this is kind of a nod to things that they're working on.
Yeah.
Which is neat.
It's kind of like a teaser preview of not just a weapon, but a range table, which is delightful.
Right. Always excited to see things like that.
Mm-hmm. All right. The Pursuit Security ETAC Rapid Responder with top-mounted stun bayonet. I think this image is new. I do not believe it exists anywhere else. It is a cousin to the ETAC something in black chrome. I can't remember its full name.
Yeah, it looks like it.
It's 500.
Something.
It's 500 EB. It is, however, a poor quality medium pistol, but it has the super handy, amazing special burst mode. And comes pre-installed with an extended mag and a non-removable stun bayonet. So the fantastic thing about this gun is when you shoot it, anytime you fire, you can choose to use its burst mode. When you fire in burst mode, the weapon expends 3 bullets, dealing damage as if it were a heavy pistol. So you get to do 3d6 instead of 2d6 at the cost of 3 bullets. However, it treats any non-armor piercing ammo as if it were armor piercing ammo. So your cheap,
which is awesome,
cheap dollar bullets instead of $10 a bullet. Yeah, like this would easily replace the Sternmeyer that I have.
Oh yeah,
even though it's
it
poor
would
quality.
ablate armor so quickly. Yeah,
and it's great because it's like less, because the bullets cost less. Use that first to chip away the armor, then use your normal ones to go through.
Right. Yeah.
So I really, really enjoy it. I believe the tech expertise, I know when I was looking through the list, it said it can upgrade any normal quality to excellent quality. I'm sure they could upgrade a poor quality to a normal quality. At which point, hopefully, for rules as written, if you roll the 1, it doesn't jam.
Yeah.
So yeah.
Which would be nice.
Which would be nice if that's how we play.
And our jam rules are intense.
Our jam rules don't work like that. But if you're playing rules as written, that's fantastic. So right. I really like this gun for a poor quality, like 500 EB gun. I think it's worth buying if you use pistols.
Since we're here,
the stun bayonet?
I was gonna say, do you want to talk about the stun bayonet?
Yeah, it's only 100 eddies. It's available to all non-exotic ranged weapons fired with the shoulder arm skill, which amuses me because this is definitely a handgun. Not fired with shoulder arm skill, but
right.
On its own needs to be attached to a ranged weapon that uses the shoulder arm skill, and it allows the bayonet to be used as a stun baton, which, just as a reminder, because I had to reread it a few times, because I actually have a stun baton with the Pursuit Security Bouncer, if it would reduce a target less than 1, it just knocks them out. You do not get to stun a target on hit, just for clarity's sake.
Yeah.
Not how that works. All right.
So I'm going to talk about the quick change faceplate mount. 1000 EB, very expensive. Man, if I could afford the humanity loss on this, I would get it tomorrow.
Out of curiosity, before we get into it, by the way, you guys can find in the score rulebook. I have the page number. I'm not looking at it right now. Give me a second. Page 52. It's right next to the tragic love affair section when you're rolling character creation.
Yep.
It's also in digital dating DLC at the bottom. But is your humanity loss, is it because you haven't gone to therapy and you could increase your humanity right now? Or are you, like, tapped out where you're at?
I'm tapped out where I'm at, which is at a 3.
Okay.
I cannot possibly regain any humanity from where I am. And I can't remove cyberware because of some other things going on.
I think you might need to talk to the GM about that. Like, no, I could see not removing certain cyberware, but all cyberware seems extensive.
Brutal?
Yeah. Yeah.
Anyway, sorry. The reason I was talking about the humanity loss is at character gen, it costs 14 humanity. Outside of that, it costs 46, so for me, it would probably cost 24 humanity.
He has the same
It must be installed, right? It must be installed at a hospital. But you can replace your face with a new face. And it comes with, like, the one face, but you can buy additional faces for 100 EB. But you can also get features that are like the real skin or like the super chrome and stuff like that. And I can imagine the nonsense that Wraith would get up to if he could literally change his face with his like voice changing vox and like his face and everything. Oh my god.
Chem skin?
Yeah. He just needs like bone enhancements that lets him get taller and shorter on hydraulic jacks, and then he'd be set.
I mean, I feel like you're pretty good without those.
Yeah, I think he will survive.
But I think for infiltration, this is fantastic.
Yeah.
I know Moxie would never trust anybody with a faceplate. Ever. Like, she has trust issues to begin with, but you have a faceplate and it's like, no. Because she would never know who she's talking to.
It's true. But you can make a really good face with that.
You could. Like
the roll face, not the turn face.
Do you know this would have been super handy in our Streamline Pacifica mission?
Yeah.
When we exited the house and the drones were looking for us based on our images, and like I changed clothing, but it was the face that caught me.
Yeah.
Yeah. That would be.
Yeah.
That would
That's that, and it's neat.
Yeah. Okay. So next are the Rockland Augmentics Quick Digits. I think this image is new. I don't recall ever seeing it before, but I could be wrong.
I don't think so either.
They're 250 EB per Cyberhand. They cost you 3 humanity loss character creation. Otherwise, they're only 1d6, which is not too bad. You can install them at a clinic. They also can be installed as the only piece of cyberware in a meat arm. Now, if a user has 2...
Sorry, I was responding to chat. Continue.
Okay. If a user has 2 or more quick digits, they automatically gain a +1 bonus as if the hands gave them a complementary skill check to conceal, reveal object, contortionist if it's hand-based contortion skills only, first aid, which is super handy, forgery, language, sign, which is
paramedic. Sign
language, I always forget is a thing, and I love that that's like literally written there to remind me. Paramedic, picklock, pickpocket. Just note, complementary skill bonuses do not stack. So, but you can tech upgrades in the little data square. It also says that chefs, artists, musicians will have it tech upgraded to help them with their specific things. So you could apply, in theory, at +1 to play instrument if you're a musician, Petra sculpt if you're an artist.
So Heroic just said this is definitely from Tales of the Red, or Tales from the Street.
Perfect.
Because you encounter her and her name is Cookie.
I have to, you know what it is? I don't read the missions because I'm always afraid Blank will use them. And then I realize Blank will never use them, so I actually have to go back and reread them.
Yeah.
But thank you, Heroic. So this
we
is
were
Cookie
talking,
from Tales of the Red Street Stories.
We were talking about how, like, speed with sign language is only so good, though, because at some point you're spelling so quickly that people aren't going to process it, you know?
I think, because wouldn't this be really good for Wraith and or Deeps?
Yeah.
Because don't you
Wraith
both have pick lock and pickpocket? If I recall.
Oh yeah,
Deeps also has forgery.
Yeah. No, this would be great for both of us because I would also get a bonus for first aid and for paramedic.
Mm-hmm.
Like, both of us, most of the things that we focus on are covered under this.
Yeah.
We need quick fingers.
Quick fingers. You just need the humanity to... Well, and it's only like 1d6 per hand. You might actually be able to handle that.
It's true.
It's 12 max.
I won't.
12 max. So you could handle it. You'd have to go to therapy right after.
Alright, I'm talking about the Rockland Augmetic Skydivers. Drivers, sorry. 1,000 EB, very expensive. Once again, this is a huge cost one. It's 46 and must be installed at a hospital. So the big things with these is that you have to get them installed together. Like, you have to do both legs at the same time. Where was I? Each leg has 2 option slots for the cyber leg or cyber limb options. Each one comes pre-installed with the jump boost that doesn't cost any humanity loss or take up one of the slots. And the jump boost cannot be removed. Blah, 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 blah. But it makes, in brawling and martial arts attacks against cover, they can use their legs for damaging attacks increased to 3d6, which is awesome because kicks don't do any damage in the regular rules. Like, there's been so many times I want to do it, and Blank is like, all right, roll like you get half a d6 damage on it, and I'm like, I hate you so much. It's not that bad, but you know what I mean. It's like, you don't do...
It would be you're brawling your body.
Yeah.
It would be your body.
You don't do, like, very much damage with it. But, like, 3d6 is some intense damage.
An additional 3d6. However, only to cover, not to a person.
Yeah. Yeah, but I think that would still come in huge handy.
I think it's one of those things where it's like, you have to break into this facility. How do you get through the door? I make a door. Run, jump, kick, and just break the wall. Yeah. It might take a couple kicks, but by all means, like, go for it.
Right. I could see me using it.
Yeah, okay, Jay said, yeah, kicks do the same damage as punching. That's what I thought.
I apologize. I don't use kicks often, but every time I do Blank, it's like, I'm not even getting through their basic armor.
My body stat is too low, because it's a 5, so I only do like 2d6.
Yeah, I think that's the problem I run into also, which is why I end up just using a shotgun for everything.
And I don't have martial arts, so... Yeah, your skill point allocation's weird, though. But yeah, I think if you use the jump boosters to destroy cover to, like... Not that our enemies normally hide behind cover, but if they did...
I still see
that
this
would
as
be
super
really
helpful.
Cool.
Like,
you know that
when we were
shield,
in the
that extra
clown
bulletproof
warehouse?
shield? That's not going to help you. If someone's coming at you with skydrivers, it's just not.
No, yeah. No.
But hey, 5 extra points of shielding before it hits you, it's not bad. It's still going to get, like, annihilated, but it's not bad.
Yeah, for sure.
Also, just note, this image is from the core rulebook on page 80. It's right next to the derived stats.
Oh, okay.
Mm-hmm. I like that they took a lot of the images from the core rulebook.
Right. I love the section in the DLC that shows all of these images. So I'm like, oh yeah, I remember seeing that. Like, it was just a fun moment in there. Alright, are you taking smart ears?
Oh, the other thing I wanted to mention about skydrivers, because you mentioned they had to get installed separately, or together. So your humanity loss and your cost only hits once. as opposed to say like the hands where you have to pay for them separately and take the humanity loss separately. The Skydrivers, it's one cost, one set humanity loss. However, critical injuries are per limb.
Yeah. I did skip over that part. I apologize.
I think that was part of your blah 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 part.
I know, I'm sorry. I'm the worst.
No, you good. Oh, the smart ears. Yes, I would love to talk.
I thought you'd be excited about this
I
one.
want these. So again, I need like $2,000 just for the 2 items I want from this DLC, and I don't have it. So this image is found in the core rulebook on page 257, where it talks about the aftermath of the Fourth Corporate War. They are 1000 EB. They come with a non-removable radio scanner music player that's pre-installed, but 2 additional option slots for cyber audio options. So when they're worn, the smarters give you access to the benefits of those options, which is super handy because it means, again, it's like the smart glove, you don't need to take the humanity loss to get those options.
Cyberware with less cost.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
So legit, I'm thinking like a bug detector because I don't have that. Although I'm wondering, because some of them require because it acts as the cyber audio suite, right? The ears, I assume?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I assume they count as that.
Because it says you can, for cyber audio options, so I assume, yeah.
Yeah.
Installing or uninstalling takes 1 hour. So if you know what you're going into ahead of time, you can switch out the audio suite option that you're going to need.
Right.
Which is fantastic. So if you're doing interrogation and you'd rather have your voice stress analyzer there, or an audio recorder, or, bug detector, or what have you, you can switch it out ahead of time, or you can have multiple sets of smart ears and bring them with you.
Which is the beauty of that.
The mission dictates. You can only wear 1 set at a time, which makes sense.
Hold on, I gotta change my ears.
Yes! Dude, Moxie would do that all the time. All the time. Also,
you
on
have
a side...
a carry-on suitcase that's just full of ears.
No, it opens up, and on the top part are the smart ears, and on the bottom are the micro cutie. My Hello Cutie the tabby. What is it? My Hyperburst. That's it.
Yeah.
The Hyperburst pistols. Because those come in colors too. In the site data score, by the way, there is a Puma Squad branded line from Raven Micro Cybernetics for the smart ears that are especially popular, which I really liked as
nice
as an addition.
Yeah.
So you can look like your favorite Puma Squad member.
Yep.
All right.
Oh, sorry. What's next? I was on a different.
Next is the Cyber Spine, which you can find on page 25 of the core rulebook.
And I need desperately, because that's where all of my damage has been taken. It's 1000 EB, very expensive. 7 humanity initially, or 2d6 in game. Hospital installation, which makes sense. You wouldn't want a mall installation of a new spine. Basically, it gives you a hardened spine, so it's not affected by EMP. But also, it makes it to where you cannot suffer the spinal cord injury on the spine injury on the critical injury chart, which is awesome. It also has it requires 3 option slots to install. But it's really neat. The problem with it that Jess and I were talking about is that, where was it? The spine counts as an orifice for the purpose of mounting a cyber snake. That's just weird.
And the user can choose where in the spine it pops out from. And that is horrifying to me. If you want to creep your players out, a cyber snake that pops out of someone's back,
right.
Go for it.
I also like the fact that you get a +1 bonus to contortion checks.
Yes.
So you can have a cat spine to where you can twist yourself all weird.
Yep. Mm-hmm. While things are popping out.
Yeah. That'd be creepy.
I know.
And honestly,
But cool
without that line, like, I'm like, oh, that's really neat. It's very expensive for something that doesn't come up all that often, but it's really neat. And then I read that line, I'm like, I don't know, man.
You don't have to add a cyber snake.
I do, Jess.
You would, yes. That is true.
And because we didn't get the 12 days of Petmas like we were hoping for, this...
It's always next year. Dear Santa, please bring me 2 cyber pets.
That's all I had for that one.
Same. So, I'm going to talk about the Zetatech Cyberconductor. And this image is actually on the core rulebook cover. There's 2 versions of it. It's the kind of the bag that you can see in the image, but you can also get an integrated one. But the integrated one is only available in a full body conversion. And full body conversions are from Interface Red Volume 3, if you want to take a look at those. So they function pretty much the same, but if you want to integrate it, you need to go full board.
That's a much more serious deal there.
Yeah. So the basic one is 1,000. It's 1,000 EB. It's actually 1,000 EB for both. And essentially up to 3 different cyber decks can be installed into the cyberconductor. And then as a meat action, while you're jacked into a net architecture, you can switch which cyber deck you're using as long as it's one of the ones installed in the cyberconductor. When a netrunner switches, all their active programs de-res, including Black Ice, and they take 3 damage directly to their HP. But you can switch between decks, which is super handy, because I tried to build a netrunner once, and I was looking at the different decks, and I'm like, oh, this would be really cool for this. But it can only install Black Ice, and this would be really cool for this, but it can only install, like, programs, and I'm like, I would want... And now I have an option where I can bring a bunch, and then depending on what I run into in the architecture, I can switch.
Right. Well, and I was going to say, Hades for deeps, he carries 2 decks with him, and it's much less convenient than this. Like, yeah, he would take the damage with this, but at least he can hot swap between the 2, which is amazing.
Yeah, because
and would be super helpful.
Because right now he has to jack out completely, switch decks, and then jack back in.
And then jack back in.
Yeah.
Yeah.
This one you can just stay exactly where you are.
So I think this is something that would be like right up his alley.
Oh, for sure.
Yeah.
Also, just a note, or a couple notes. Installing or uninstalling a cyber deck into the cyberconductor takes an hour, so 2 hours if you want to uninstall and reinstall one. And the cyber deck benefits do not transfer to other decks in the cyberconductor. So if you have one that increases your speed while you're running it, if you're using a different one, you don't get that benefit. You only get that benefit when you're using that deck. That doesn't change. You can just switch which deck you're using. When it's integrated into full body conversion, it's still only 1,000 EB, which is nice. However, you do suffer either 14 or 46 humanity loss. It is a hospital install. It is Borgware, so you will lose 4 max humanity when you take this upgrade. It requires 3 option slots. Again, can only be installed in a full body conversion. Though part of the benefit of the fact that it's in an FBC is that you don't take any damage when you switch between decks.
Yep, they're all constantly there. You're just only focused on the one.
Yes, and you can only have one cyberconductor installed in case you were thinking of somehow running with like 6 decks. I don't know why you would need to.
Have like 4 cyberconductor bags on you.
You would need 12 decks. Why would you need 12 decks? Spoiled phrase.
They're very specialized.
But I do like that you can carry this around. Although I would say probably be careful with an EMP grenade. Maybe
I'd imagine you
hardened. Maybe get it tech upgraded so that it's hardened somehow. If possible. But I like that you take, because as powerful it is to switch decks, I think they did a really great job of being like, but you're going to take 3 damage to do this.
Yeah.
Because, and that number is nice because it's not as much as a critical injury, like extra damage that goes directly to your HP. but it's enough that you're not just constantly like hopping back and forth where, because if you get hit by something like a hellhound down there, that 3 HP may be the difference of you standing on your feet or not. So it's not so much that you sit there and you're like, man, that's too much HP, but it's enough for you to kind of pause and go, do I want to at this exact moment?
Is this strategically what I want to do?
Yes.
Yeah.
And I found that 3 HP is a really good balance for them. Or they did a really good job balancing that damage output.
Yeah, for sure.
Even though I don't play a Netrunner, I really love this item.
And then after that,
I will play a Netrunner and have this item.
It's true. After that is all of the reference art that we've been showing, which is amazing, and I loved seeing it because I was like, oh, I recognize this and this. And then after that is the traditional stats and the short write-up of everything. So there's a lot of good, fun stuff that like I didn't realize I didn't have stats for when I saw it in books and things, like the spine and stuff. I was just like, oh, that's neat looking, and didn't give it a second thought. But now I'm like, oh, I know what that does.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
It's different from bringing in the 2020 stuff, but I do like that they've looked at the images that they had and like, hey, we never actually explained what this piece is.
Right. Like, he has some neat gloves. What are the neat gloves that he's wearing?
No. So we got a lot of neat gear that has existed.
Well, and more options for like cyberware without having to get it installed, which
I love that so much.
Love seeing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Smart glasses. So. I still need to get smart glasses. That reminds me. It's been on my wish list.
I still need a combat
like
umbrella. And how long has that been a thing?
Oh yeah, the Militech combat umbrella. Yeah. Forever since Night City Weather came out. In fact, we were like, we need this.
Right. Oh, I'm sure.
One day.
Smart glasses are so worth having.
One day I'll have smart glasses.
But yeah, I think that pretty much covers the 2 DLCs.
Absolutely does. So thank you all for joining us today. Thank you for your comments. Let us know what you thought about this segment. Sure. Any future things you might like to see. If you're watching this on YouTube, you can leave a comment on YouTube or on one of our many social media platforms, Discord as well. So Facebook, Blue Sky, mostly Blue Sky, or Discord. Discord's really good.
Yep.
Night City Sofa will return in 2025. This was the last one of the year. Thank you guys for doing for coming and hanging out with me at least monthly. It's kind of been like bi-monthly of late. But at least monthly throughout the year, it means a lot. I absolutely love this segment and reviewing these DLCs.
I always enjoy being here. So, thank you for having me, Jess.
Always, buddy. Always.
But yeah, we're grateful for you guys. We hope that you have fun generating scream sheets for your characters. And yeah.
If you do, tag me. If you post them anywhere, please tag me. I would love to read them. Also in 2025, we may change dates of when Night City Sofa will air. I will keep you up to date on that. It may be on Sundays instead of Thursdays. Possibly. Possibly a new time. I'm still figuring out scheduling. So I will let you know. But in January, since we covered December's DLC tonight, January, I'm going to kick things off and we're going to review Tales of the Red Hope Reborn and the Hope Reborn DLC. I might do it. I might do
Which
it by...
we've been talking about doing since it came out.
I know.
We were like, we're going to do Hope Reborn, and then we're like, oh, but we got so much going on right now.
But this DLC came out, and this came out, and then this came out, which is fantastic. And I want to dedicate a lot of time to Hope Reborn because there's so much there to unpack, and it's beautifully done. So it might be, January might be weekly, it might be 2, and I might break it up because there's also not just the mission book, which is fantastic, but then there's also the DLC Hope Reborn Plus that came out to supplement that, which we're going to talk about as well. So January January will be Tales of the Red Hope Reborn in some iteration.
Yep.
It will be spoiler heavy, so if you're a player and your GM plans on running it, probably
avoid it. Yeah.
You can stop
we
by
don't
for
want
the
to
first
lose
bit,
viewers and stuff.
because we'll talk about like
Yeah.
the lore story, which is really, really good. And it kind of gives you some background info, but once you get to the missions, sorry. Do yourself a favor and don't listen until you've played it, and then you can come back and listen to the video.
Right.
And I think that's it for me. So until next year, stay frosty, Tubes.